Wow. Let me just start by saying that this is probably the hardest thing that I've ever attempted to do. These YouTube influencers or vloggers and podcasters, they make this look a whole lot easier than it actually is, trying to deal with mic levels and format and lighting. And I mean, this is just, putting yourself in the public eye that I'm not really used to, but this is something that a lot of people have been asking me to do for a long time. So I guess this is the pilot or test episode. I guess call it episode 1. This is my 400th take. So hopefully we can get it on this time. I mean, it's really difficult to have a 5-minute conversation with yourself. But I guess let me just get into it. My name's Abram. I am the founder of the program, the Gospelectual, and the primary basis of the Gospelectual is epistemology. How do we know what we know? But as it pertains to Christianity, because people always ask me, "Oh, Abram, why are you a Christian in the secular world?" It all sort of came to me when with 1 Peter 3, which basically says to be a case maker for what you believe in. The actual scripture says, "Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have, but do so with gentleness and respect." So I guess the major purpose would be not to preach to you guys, but to present evidence on why I believe what I believe, and to educate individuals of any worldview on Christianity. And for the Christians, my Christian worldview is that of faith-only based salvation. For a more agnostic and atheist audience, I'd like to address those worldviews with evidence of a creator God from a scientific perspective, and answer the question, does science point more towards atheism, or does science sit more comfortably with theism? Atheism, as we're told, is the only intellectually tenable position, and any attempt to reintroduce God is likely to impede the progress of science, which I disagree with, and I hope to prove my position as the discussion unfolds. Hold on, still getting used to this. This mic is falling off the screen here. But with the atheist and agnostic audience, I really want to focus on the secular aspects as well as the religious aspects pertaining to a creator God and how God operates this natural universe. And in future episodes, I'm going to have guests from the natural and material sciences. I'm going to have both secular scientists as well as scientists who are believers. But before I get into all that, I want to kind of just introduce myself and get into, why I believe what I believe and what brought me back to the faith. So I grew up in the Christian church. And when you grow up in the church, you kind of take it for granted. It's something that's always been there. So you kind of lose it. It gets tuned out with everything else that's going on in your life. So it's, by the time you hit college, or even before that, when you hit high school, it's easy to kind of to tune that out and fall into the crowd. And then when you hit your college years and you're taking your ethics classes and your world religions and your psychology classes and the natural sciences, and it kind of steers you, away from theistic ideology. And I ended up, questioning and leaving the faith for a number of years. And but during that time, I studied other world religions, Islam and Buddhism, and then eventually just saying, this is all nonsense, and it's all fairy tales. And then in my late 20s. I came across Hugh Ross, which introduced me to Job being the most scientific book in the Bible. So I started researching Job and researching the scientific questions that were posed there. And as it came to be, there were 60 questions posed and 43 which have been answered by modern science. But what it showed me is that the Bible has been a constant for when Job was written for about 5,000 years. It's been like this. The Bible's been like this on its claims, and science has been dynamic, constantly changing. Science says this, it proves itself wrong, and it goes like this. So doing my research and my studies, I was like, man, there's got to be something to this. And it's actually the book that brought me back to the faith, but I'll get into that. I just kind of wanted to scratch the surface and get used to, like I said, my format. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to have a co-host or no co-host, or I'm checking my mic levels and trying to see how this all goes, and hopefully get some pretty interesting discussions going, and hope you guys enjoy what you hear. Thanks.